Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn wxFrame. So let's begin with the introduction. Basically, Python provides us wxPython module which enable us to build the highly functioning graphical user interface, and it is an open source module, so anyone can use it for free and also have access to the source code to examine and edit it. And it is implemented as a set of extension modules that wrap the GUI components of a wx widgets library, which is basically written in C++. And now the wxFrame is a part of the wxPython, and it is the default constructor for the wxFrame class, which has no argument. Additionally, it has a constructor that is overloaded with the syntax of the wxFrame. So we will move ahead and learn to embed matplotlib figure in wxFrame, and we will see an example for this. I will show you the example. So here is the code. You can see that firstly I import the wx module. This is the main wxPython module basically, and it includes all the wx widgets, library objects, function and the sub module. Next I move ahead, and this time I import the matplotlib figure for the data visualization, and next I import the numpy for the data defining, and after that I import the wxAGG figure canvas object, which is used to bind the figure to the wxAGG backend. And next I create a class. Here you can see that I create a class with the name canvas frame, which I extended with the wxFrame. Basically, it is a top level wxFrame that must be present in every application, and we are building a unique wxFrame in this instance. Basically, we inherit from a class object oriented programming and modify its behavior to meet our requirement. Then you can see that we initialize the superclass using the _init method, and it has the parameters. So I will explain you these parameters. So it has parameter as a parent, and this is the top level window. The value is set to none because indicating that there is no parent in this substance. The next one is id, and this is the wx widget object identifier, and it is set to, you can see that wx.id underscore any, which indicates that it represents the system for any id. The next one is title, and it is the title for the window. And the last one is size, and we choose a size that is the same as the figure. So next you can see that I call the figure method and initialize it to the self.figure variable. Then I want to create a subplot, and for this reason I call the add underscore subplot function with respect to this figure method, and I assign it to the axis variable. Now we have to define the data coordinates, as we have to plot the graphs, and for this we use the data for both x-axis and the y-axis. So here I define data for the x-axis as a x underscore data, and I use the arrange function for it of a numpy module. The next, to define the y-axis data coordinate, I initialize the y underscore data variable to it, and this time I call the cos and the sine function of the numpy module. Now I want to plot a line chart for this. For this reason I call the plot function and pass x underscore data as a x argument and the y underscore data as a y value. Then I will move ahead, and here you can see that we initialize the figure canvas by passing the parent and set it to the self. Next we activate the frame, and after that we define the system id, and last the figure of the matplotlib object is rendered using the wxAGG backend. So here you can see that I call the self.figure. Next you can see that I create a application by calling the app function, and after that I initialize the custom wxFrame object that will use to draw the plot. And to display the wx frame on the screen, we call the show function and set its bool value to true. At last, we start the main loop for the event processing. When the main loop function is invoked, wx widget assumed to control and begins monitoring for the events, and it will send a new events to the appropriate event handler at that time. So with this we understand how this code works. So now I execute this cell and show you the output, how the plots look. So here you can see that it opens a pop-up window which is a wx frame. So I maximize it. You can see that it have a title on the top, embed matplotlib in wx frame, which we mentioned, and it shows the plot like this. So with this we have learned to embed matplotlib figure in wx frame, and we have also completed our matplotlib portion.